My wife cheated on a business trip. When she came back, I gave her a gift she would never forget. I never thought I'd be the kind of person who suspects their own spouse. Not Amanda. Not after 9 years of marriage, a lifetime of memories, laughter, and shared dreams. But the silence. That silence was what broke me first. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and keep watching, because the best part's coming up next. Amanda used to light up every room she walked into. She'd tell me about her day in vivid detail, the little things that made her smile or frustrated her. I loved those moments. I lived for them. But in the months leading up to her trip, something changed. The chatter stopped. The spark faded. Conversations that used to last hours dwindled to distracted nods, half-hearted smiles, and empty ahas. I told myself it was work. The late nights, the stress, they were draining her. But late one night, as she drifted to sleep beside me, I felt it in my bones. Something was wrong. When she said she had to go on a business trip out of state, I kissed her with a smile, telling her I'd miss her and to be safe. I thought I was strong. I thought I was prepared. But I wasn't ready for the nightmare that would follow. It started with a buzz. Her tablet, left unattended while I was doing laundry, lit up with a notification. Normally, I respected her privacy, always had. But that night, some gut-wrenching, primal part of me urged me to look. I shouldn't have. But I did. The message was short, but it ripped through me like a lightning bolt. Last night was unforgettable. Can't wait for round 2 before you leave, I dropped the tablet. My hand shook so violently I couldn't pick it up again. My heart sank deep, the floor beneath me cracking open. I scrolled, one message after another. Pictures, plans. The unmistakable proof of betrayal. Amanda wasn't on a business trip. She was on a trip to destroy us. For 3 days, I sat in our home. A ghost trapped in a prison of disbelief and heartbreak. I stared at our wedding photo, my fingers tracing the faces of 2 people who once promised forever. Was any of it real? Was any of it ever real? Tears fell until there were none left. Anger bubbled, mixing with a deep, crushing sorrow that made it hard to breathe. And then clarity came. A cold, hard clarity. I realized something. I had given Amanda everything. My trust, my heart, my loyalty. And she had thrown it away like it meant nothing. But if she thought she could just come back and pretend nothing had changed, she was dead wrong. I knew I had to give her a gift she'd never forget. When Amanda finally returned, suitcase in hand, she walked through the door with that same sweet smile I used to adore. The smile of someone who believes they've gotten away with something. "Hey, honey," she said, leaning in for a kiss. I pulled back. The mask slipped from her face. Confusion flashed in her eyes, mixed with something I couldn't place. Fear, guilt, desperation. "I have something for you," I said softly. But every word was laced with the weight of everything she had broken. "A gift." She hesitated, but followed me to the dining room. On the table sat a simple box, wrapped carefully in plain brown paper and tied with a ribbon. She untied it slowly, curiosity twisting her face. Inside was a stack of printed messages, every text, every picture, every secret plan she'd sent to him. Like what you see? Click like, hit subscribe, and stay tuned. Let's keep going. On top of the pile was our wedding photo, sliced neatly in half. Her face went pale. Her lips trembled. "Where did you... How?" "I know everything, Amanda," I said, voice steady but trembling inside. "Every lie. Every night you thought I was blind." This is your gift. The truth. Tears welled in her eyes as she reached out to touch me. But I stepped back. No, I said quietly, shaking my head. Don't touch me. You made your choice the moment you walked into his hotel room. Now I'm making mine. But that wasn't all. Next to the box, I placed something else. Signed divorce papers. Ready for her to take or leave. Her eyes widened as reality crashed down on her. I wasn't bluffing. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to fight for someone who had already left me, body and soul. Sobbing, she dropped to her knees, begging for forgiveness, pleading that it was a mistake, that she still loved me. But the words sounded hollow, empty echoes in a broken room. If she truly loved me, she wouldn't have torn my world apart. I looked at her one last time, the woman I thought I'd grow old with, and said, "The man you cheated with can have you now. Because the man who loved you, he's gone." Walking away was the hardest thing I've ever done. Every step felt like I was ripping a piece of my own heart out. But as the days turned into weeks, I realized something important. Sometimes the most brutal gift you can give a betrayer isn't anger or revenge. It's freedom. Freedom for them to live with the consequences of their choices. Freedom for yourself to heal, to rebuild, to find light beyond the darkness they left behind. It wasn't easy. Some nights, loneliness swallowed me whole. The betrayal echoed in my mind like a haunting song. But slowly, I began to find myself again. I reconnected with friends I'd drifted from. I threw myself into my career, into my passions. I took long runs in the early morning air and found peace in the small things: coffee at dawn, a book in the afternoon, laughter that came easier than before. Amanda tried to reach me. Calls, letters, even showing up at my workplace. She cried over her regrets, her mistakes, the ruins she left in her wake. But regret doesn't erase betrayal. Forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciliation. I forgave her, not for her sake, but for mine, so I could finally let go of bitterness and move forward. Today, when I look back, I don't just see the pain. I see a turning point, a fracture that broke me, but also made me stronger, wiser, someone who won't accept anything less than they deserve. To anyone out there listening, walking through their own storm, hear me. Betrayal isn't the end of your story. Sometimes, it's the cruel, painful push you need to write a better chapter. And sometimes, the most brutal gift you can give a cheater is to show them they no longer hold the power to break you. Honestly, stories like this hit hard because they remind us how fragile trust really is and how devastating betrayal can be. But what stood out most to me was the strength it took to choose healing over hatred. It's easy to get lost in anger, but this story shows that reclaiming your power and finding peace within yourself is the real victory. No one deserves to be broken by someone they love, and sometimes the best gift you can give yourself is freedom from the past. If this story resonated with you, please give it a like and subscribe for more real-life stories and raw moments. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever experienced something like this? Share your story or advice in the comments below. Let's support each other through the tough times. Thanks for watching.